Picture snow-dusted Alps, fairy tale villages dripping with charm, and castles that seem plucked straight from a storybook. That's Bavaria, folks. Another day, another place, and my first taste of this region left me hungry for more. Forget the Bavarian vibes of Atlanta's Helen. I needed the real deal. So, after exploring Paris and Salzburg, I set my sights on castles, cozy cafes, and learning why time tours are crucial for the best Bavarian adventure. Okay, so, even with amazing cities like Paris fresh in my memory, my heart craved that classic Bavarian experience, the castles, the Alps, the whole fairy tale vibe. Coming from Atlanta, this was a whole different world. We only had one day in Munich before heading to Zurich, so a tour was the way to go. But not just any tour. You gotta pick the right one to see the highlights without feeling too rushed. A good resource is Viator, where you can compare options. The charms of Ettal and Linderhof. First stop, Ettal. Think storybook cute. Houses with painted facades, murals of Grimm's fairy tales on the walls. I felt like I'd stepped into an illustration. And you know I had to make the experience memorable with food. Giant slice of cheesecake at a cozy cafe. Couldn't even finish it. But Ettal holds a deeper history than just looking charming. Nestled right there in the village is Ettal Abbey, a Benedictine monastery with roots that go back centuries. Speaking of history, Ettal is actually quite close to Oberammergau, the village famous for its passion play. Every 10 years, the townsfolk put on a massive theatrical performance depicting the last days of Jesus Christ. It's a centuries-old tradition that draws crowds from all over the world. Linderhof Palace is a bit of a hike uphill, but the views on the way make it worth it. And when you step inside, wow! If you've ever been to Versailles in France, you'll get a serious feeling of déjà vu. It's like a miniature Versailles, all that gold, those over-the-top chandeliers, even a scaled-down version of the famous Hall of Mirrors. But Linderhof has its own unique charm too. King Ludwig II, the guy who built it, was a bit eccentric, and that comes through in some of the rooms. There's a hidden grotto, complete with a waterfall and colored lights. Pretty wild for the 1800s. Sadly, no photos allowed inside, but trust me, it's the kind of place that sticks with you. The Majesty of Neuschwanstein. Neuschwanstein, that's the postcard castle, folks. But to get those iconic views, you've got to climb. There's a bus option for those who don't want to tackle the hill, but if you can, the walk is rewarding. It sets the stage for the grandeur that awaits. First stop is that bridge viewpoint. You know the shot. Castle nestled in the mountains, total fairy tale moment. It gets crowded, but hang tight. It's worth it to say you stood there. Inside Neuschwanstein, it's all about time tours. Might sound stressful, but it keeps things organized. While you wait, explore the courtyard, and remember, you're walking in the footsteps of King Ludwig II, the fairy tale king. This castle wasn't just meant to be fancy, it was his escape, built to resemble the mythical worlds of operas. Did you know he was obsessed with swans? That theme is everywhere. But Ludwig's story is more than castles. It's shrouded in mystery. They say he was declared insane, and his death in a nearby lake. Well, some say it wasn't an accident. Bavaria, it's not one and done. Enthusiasm, okay. So, that first trip just fueled my Bavaria obsession. We've been back multiple times, Oberstaufen, the Dolomites, even ran into our original tour guide by chance. This July, we're revisiting some favorites, plus squeezing in some new spots. A little tip: if you can, don't just day trip to Bavaria. Base yourself in a small town, soak in the atmosphere. Also, consider your season: winter for Christmas markets and summer for alpine hikes. Whether you crave castles, mountain views, or that perfect slice of strudel in a cobblestone square, Bavaria has something to capture your heart. To help plan your own adventure, tips on the best times to visit, and photos that'll fuel your wanderlust, head over to Global Citizen Travel Blog at therookandqueen.com. Until next time, keep traveling smart. Happy exploring.